Hey folks, this is Peter Boykin running for Lieutenant Governor of North Carolina. First of all, if you need to text me, you can text me at 919-758-0597. Any questions you have about my campaign, any issues that you see going on with voting, any kind of gossip or anything you want to talk about, go ahead and give me a text. You can call me, but I prefer a text because I can get back in touch with you quicker, especially if I'm on the line with somebody. I can get in touch with multiple people at the same time. I am driving in the Wake County area. I'm literally heading down the sheet of early voting locations. I'm not sure if they still vote on those days or not, but most of my signs and things are, and it's a good tour of the Wake County area. And I will end up at Sophie's Grill tonight, the one that hosts a lot of the West Wake County Republican Club meetings. I'll be at Stovey's and Cary around 7:30. We'll see what the votes come in. As they come in, probably won't hear anything about 9 or 10. Can't stay all night because I got to drive back to Mebane. I got to get ready, and I actually have to work at 1 a.m. in the morning in my job, which is night shift. So if I win, I'll be wired. If I lose, whatever, we'll continue on for the future. Still always going to be Peter Boykin for NC no matter what. We'll see who wins. But at the end of the day, we need to get out and vote because all votes matter. So I'm going to be live streaming as much as possible. I tried to live stream earlier when I voted. I took my parents this morning, and I'm running out a little bit later because I got up this morning, made sure that I went to go vote, had to get my parents into the car, got them up there. They voted curbside. That took a while. Wow. There's a car that just zipped around me, went around, and came back over. Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that gets people wrecked. So be careful out there because there's crazy people driving. So again, I got mom and dad in the car. They had to go and vote. That took a long time, long enough for me to go inside. Went, and that took a while. Got the vote. Did the voting, came out. They still hadn't had the ballots. I realized they moved the entrance, so I put down a whole bunch of my extra signs at the location in Mebane, and still had time to talk to people as they came. So if you end up you're in the area of Wake County and you want to come to Sophie's Grill, come there tonight around 7:30. I'll be there. But again, we don't know how the results are going to be. It's anybody's game, honestly. Oh, and by the way, has anybody had any problems with Facebook or Instagram? So-called Meta went down. Both my phones, they required me to log back in. I could get into the web app, but all of a sudden I went in. Even my StreamYard said that there was an error with Meta, Facebook, and Instagram streaming. I guess, I don't know, everybody trying to stream. But I find it mighty peculiar, Zuckerberg, who basically had ties with Obama and Biden and all them to interfere with the elections. The so-called say that they don't want interference in the election. They pull this on Super Tuesday of all times for them to go down. Maybe it's because everybody wanted the live stream. Maybe it's the traffic. Who knows? They should know better. I find it mighty peculiar. Let me remind you, after the 2020 election was stolen from us, all of the Trump groups that I was in, every Trump group, every admin, everybody who was from every Trump group that I could get in touch with, we all got a 30-day ban. 30-day where we weren't allowed to talk in our own groups right after they stole the election because they knew what they were doing. We weren't able to talk to our groups. We weren't able to calm down our groups, or in their cases, we would hype people up. That is kind of what led to the future of what happened with January 6th because of the limitation of our voices during that last election. It's let up since Biden's been around, but Trump gets back in, or when Trump gets back in, I'm wondering if they'll really crack down on our freedom of speech again. We have to continue to keep going out there. We have to continue having rallies. We have to have pep rallies. We got to get people out. Again, I don't understand why there weren't enough people at the polls for early voting. They should have had more tables up, especially in the biggest voting district of North Carolina. But I'm going to be going out. There's about 20-something locations on the sheet. I'm skipping the 2 churches, and I'm skipping the college campus because I already went there, put early signs up. I'm starting with the outskirts of Raleigh, and then I'll be heading into the Wake Forest area. I'm not sure if people do vote on the early voting locations or not. So I'm going to have to kind of see. If it's already kind of empty, then I guess it's a good time for me to go ahead and pull up some of my signs. We'll see. We'll see, because I'm going to have to pull up the signs anyway. Win or lose, you got to start pulling up your signs, and I definitely want my signs. Because if I don't win, or if I do win, it's called recycling. That's what conservatism is about, folks. It's about saving money, conserving our freedoms, conserving our Constitution, conserving the American way of life. Thank you, Buddy Webster. Thank you for your vote. My wife and I are going to vote right now. Absolutely. Thank you for coming out to vote. Make sure you vote for really good people. Do your research on who's actually running. Again, don't let other people decide your vote. It's your vote. Remember, it's your vote. Do the research. Find the best people. Find people who you believe match closely to what you believe in. But also remember that it's important that you vote for people who can win in the general election. I know that more than likely in the general election and the lieutenant governorship, there will be a probably Rachel Hunt. Oh, let me give you a little tidbit. So one of the other guys, not the Mark Robinson that's running for a Democrat, but I think the other one, Ben Clark, who decided to put his sign in front of mine at the other location, he posted somebody was saying he posted they sent me screenshots of his little brochure to get people, and it was all about identity politics. It was he's a black man, and he had black people all over the card, and it's kind of funny. The picture of Rachel Hunt was in black and white to make her look extra white, really using the identity politics card. But I think that guy's running a distant third in that race. But more than likely, in the Democrat race, it will probably be Rachel Hunt. Now, again, she raised a lot of money. And there is this misconception that the people who raise the most money are the people who are going to be the best to win. Not right. No, not really. That's what they've drawn you into. That's what the swamp is drawing you into. That's what all of that, because they make big money off of big money. And when people have to run like every 2 years or 4 years and stuff, we're supposed to be beholden to the citizen instead of beholden to big corporations and big PACs and big donors. We're supposed to be beholden to the people. And by putting that much money, like millions of dollars, we hear that these campaigns have millions of dollars donated. Again, I ask, you had millions of dollars you had in the campaign. Why did you pay for somebody for 2 weeks during the early loading location to go to the early voting locations and give out your cards? I'm still trying to figure that one out. That's where people actually vote. You would think with all these text messages and these commercials, I mean, I'm tired of the commercials for NC6. It's just mudslinging galore. I'm in NC9, but NC6 is on the TV like crazy. It's mudsling. They replace all the car commercials at least. But with all of that going on, nobody was at the polls actually getting the voters. I couldn't understand that. How do we ignoring the actual places where people go vote? How are we ignoring that? Honestly, how are we ignoring those locations? That's where people vote. That's where we should have the most money spent. There, to have people, hire people. We can't expect everybody to donate. People aren't able to. Pay somebody $20 an hour, decent wage. I know the excuse is, well, Republicans have jobs. They can't do that. There's plenty of unemployed Republicans. During the 4 years of Donald Trump, I had the most problem getting jobs. I lost 4 jobs due to my politics. 4 jobs. Being the activist and the doing rallies and everything. If it wasn't for gigs like Uber, which I lost after January 6th, yeah, I got a decent job now. They stay out of politics, but we're working, I don't talk about it. And we absolutely, positively got to get out the vote. And, at the end of the day, it's most important that people vote. We got the job. I know I'm bouncing around back and forth, but I'm driving at the same time. Yeah, I'm paying attention to my driving. Probably paying attention more to my driving than I usually do. So we're heading out. We're going to go to the early voting locations. Again, I'm not sure exactly. I know when you go look at the list, mostly it's schools and churches where people are voting. So I'm not sure if they still vote at the early voting locations or not. I know for me, the major early voting location in Mebane, North Carolina is also where I vote, which I voted earlier. Once I got my parents up there, had to get them up there, they did early voting. Gave the list of some individuals to go for. They teased me about voting for some people that, I wasn't sure. And I said, at the end of the day, it's your vote. Just make sure you vote for me. But I think they followed pretty much what I had put down. And they might have changed one or two things. It's up to them. But it's guidelines. There's a lot of people, a lot of education out there. Unfortunately, a lot of copycat articles where they state that certain people are the runners, the main runners in my election, and they just kind of brush over individuals like myself. But it is anybody's game. It is absolutely anybody's game in this election. Now, straw polls. I don't take much credit at straw polls. One of my opponents has basically won almost every straw poll. But straw polls are done usually right after that individual speaks. And if they bring enough people in there to skew the poll, that's what happens. And then when you have straw polls where I wasn't even invited or I was uninvited for the events. Believe me, if you believe in religious freedom and you disagree with some people's religious beliefs or some things that your religion is against, but you uninvite them, but also claim you're for religious freedom, are you really for religious freedom? I've got to always ask that. We are, I bring that up. We are not a theocracy. We are a republic of people of individual ideas, individual religions, individual beliefs. That's one of the reasons why we came to this country. People came here for the freedom of religion and the freedom from religion, the freedom to, have their beliefs. That's what makes America, America. So we might disagree. Ronald Reagan had an 80-20 system, usually. 80% my friend, 20% my foe does not make you my enemy. That works in some cases, and nobody really is my enemy at the end of the day. You got to think, look, this is a country that's based on compromise. We are the great compromise, where people of different beliefs, religious beliefs, political beliefs, sat down, our founders, and they were able to put out one of the greatest documents in America, American history and the world. That is why our country will be going on, I think, 250 years? In 2 more years, we'll have a 250-year celebration of this country existing. We're going to outlast the Roman Empire because we believe in diversity. And we are a living, breathing document. We're a living, breathing country of ideas, and we develop and we try to make things better and better and better. Not worse, better. Some people might call that progressive. I know they can put that with the conservatives. No, it's called moderation. Moderation is the key to our future. We don't need a civil war. We don't need people fighting. We don't need extremism. We need more people to sit at the table. And no matter who gets in this campaign, if I was able to get in to run for lieutenant governor, if I was the nominee eventually, I would have to work with anybody who just got elected. That might even be somebody I don't really like. but we'll have a come to Jesus meeting. We'll sit down and we'll discuss our future and how we're going to run and how we're going to make North Carolina great, keep North Carolina great. I wouldn't say again, I think we're doing pretty good, but we're also going to keep America and make America great again. That is the biggest thing about MAGA. We got to make America great again. It's come back around. It's 4 years of failed policies, and I don't care if it's Democrat or not. It was 4 years of a sitting president who literally is a horrible individual and a horrible president. And it's not just because they're a Democrat. It's because they were just ineffective. Ineffective. There are some good people on both sides who are very effective at their job and helping out the community and helping out citizens. So it's never really a Republican or right or left thing for me. It is about who can actually do the job. There's a lot of Republicans. There's a whole lot of Democrats I disagree with. At the end of the day, people go, well, some of your beliefs, you should be a Democrat. I'm like, can't be a Democrat. Can't ever be a Democrat. We just don't get along. We differ way too much. And the Democrat Party just cannot get people elected who can actually do their job. They run, and they've proven that they run government to hell and back. At the end of the day, they're horrible. Now, Republicans, they run better. They run things a whole lot better. And if you get a Republican who is in that middle frame, who is in that moderate, we can do best. And no, that does not make them a rhino. The word rhino is a ridiculous term, a ridiculous phrase. It's like the boogeyman to try to keep Republicans in line to whatever the status quo is. And people can call me a rhino all day long, but I am not a Republican in name only, because I am a Republican. I am a constitutionalist for liberty. I believe in limited government. I believe in personal freedoms. I believe in the party of Lincoln, the party that helped free the slaves, the party who got the black people their right to vote and their freedoms, the party that got women's suffrage through, the party who got immigrants eventually on a path to citizenship and got them their right to vote, the party of our republic. That is the party. The party, like Dale Folwell said, we are conservatives because we conserve. We conserve money. We are the party that is not the party of hate. We are the party of the people. We are the people's party. At the end of the day, folks, we are the people's party. Now I'm about to hit my first location, and I'm going to get off here, and God bless everybody, and I'll be back on later. Peace, and don't forget to vote.